A Pennsylvania woman is facing charges of aiding suicide and harassment after allegedly sending heinous and graphic messages and videos to her estranged boyfriend and father of their child, who eventually died by suicide.
So this happened out in Westmoreland County. That's fairly close to Pittsburgh, but still is the state of Pennsylvania. Lexie joins us again. Thank you, attorney at law. So has she been charged?
She has been charged, yes.
With what?
She is charged with aiding and abetting suicide, and it's a second-degree felony in Pennsylvania, and it carries a serious penalty. It's between 5 and 10 years. She's also been charged with harassment, which is a misdemeanor.
So we don't want to get too graphic, but we should tell you why she's been charged. She was sending pretty nasty emails and texts, but the most egregious, I think, is that we've heard that she sent a videotape of her having sex with another man.
She did, apparently, allegedly. And another egregious aspect is they have a child together. So, you know, unfortunately, he wouldn't have been able to get away from her anyway. They have a child in common. And she was threatening, you'll never see your kid again. And as someone who also practices family law and has done a lot of domestic violence cases, both on the side of the plaintiff and the victim plaintiff and the defendant, that is just a despicable thing to do, to hold somebody's child over their head.
And she was saying, I mean, some of the quotes that are in New York Post, that our child would be better off not knowing you. And she said multiple times in different instances that you should, you know, kill yourself.
Exactly. And, you know, as a human being, I'd like to see her punished because there's no place in society for people treating each other like that. But as a lawyer, there's been a lot of controversy with these laws, and now a lot of states have these laws that criminalizes aiding and abetting suicide, but there's not a lot of case law on this. This is not an often used statute, and for good reason, because you don't want to criminalize somebody and penalize somebody for somebody else's choices.
Right. He did it.
Right, he did it. She wasn't there. He's the one that committed suicide. But their theory, the prosecutor's theory, is that this was so egregious that, and he had a suicide note that said that she was the cause also.
But also, I mean, they had instances and issues in the past. Could it also be argued that she was aware of his mental state and the issues and things that he'd been dealing with?
Absolutely.
And still willingly said those things and pushed him?
Like,
couldn't
she
that
really
be
wanted
used?
him to do it.
Absolutely. And there might be evidence of that in the text messages. We don't know. Now, if I were defending her, I would want to see what he said in response, because in my practice, I've seen more text messages than you can shake a stick at, and harassment is domestic violence. You don't necessarily have to hit somebody to be committing an act of domestic violence.
So you've heard of stuff like this before?
I have, and I've seen a lot of people's text messages, and a lot of times these toxic relationships are mutual. So I'm not placing any blame here. That's just the reality. And so if I were defending her, I would want to see what he was saying back, because if it was, you're upsetting me, you know, please leave me alone, that's one thing. If he's giving it as good as he got it, that's a different story, because having a toxic relationship, unfortunately, it's not a crime. So there are a lot of nuances to this, and this is why they don't prosecute people for this that often.
So what's the potential consequences of this? How much time?
5 to 10 years for a second-degree felony in Pennsylvania. And this was the Michelle Carter case. People probably remember that with the texting. And that's being made into a Hulu series, actually. And she actually served. Now, they didn't have a statute in Massachusetts, so they convicted her under a theory of involuntary manslaughter, which was appealed and upheld. And she only, if you believe she should have been convicted and should have had more time, served 11 months.
11 months. All right, Lexie, have a good weekend.
Thank you.